Hi, this is Dennis Snipe, host of the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show, daring to make a difference in our communities, entitled FocusTalk. And I'm looking for you to be the next featured guest on FocusTalk. If you're an entrepreneur, an author, community-based organization, artist, or if you're simply daring to make a difference in your community, I need to hear from you. Here's what I need you to do. Send an email to dennis@dennissnipe.com with your name, brief description of what you do, contact number, and why you should be a guest on FocusTalk. I look forward to hearing from you soon. In the meantime, please continue to stay focused. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the Inglewood community, the Chicagoland area, as well as across the nation. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me in the studio today is Miss Christine Boulware, who is the president, founder, and CEO of itsashort.com. Hi, Christine. How are you today?
Hi, Dennis. I'm great. Thank you.
Thank you for being here and bearing along with us through all the difficult things, but now we are at the meat of the show. So give me some information about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Christine Boulware, as you said, and I'm the CEO and founder of itsashort.com. And itsashort.com is sort of an online platform for award-winning or award-nominated short film, video, and web series. We aspire to be the Netflix for short film.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Now, how long has your company been in existence?
Actually, we did a soft launch in 2014 because we're considered a tech startup here in Chicago. So we did a soft launch in 2014, and then we did a hard launch in 2015. It's really sort of March of 2015. So we're just celebrated our second year birthday.
Okay. All right. So now how does it work? So if I am an independent filmmaker,
yep,
and I have a project that I've been working on, do I submit it to you, or how does that work?
Okay. So, well, first of all, it would be very important for you to be an independent filmmaker for sure. And secondly, we would need for you to be sort of a filmmaker who makes short film versus feature-length film. And
what's the difference?
The difference is, according to the Academy, right, the Oscars people, short film is really any film that tells a story that's 40 minutes or less, really 45 minutes or less. And any film that's longer than 45 minutes would be considered a feature-length film. And feature-length films are what people normally see when you go to like the AMC theater or any of the other movie theaters.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, as far as the entire process, as far as an independent filmmaker,
yes,
is it as difficult as I've heard to create a film? Because I see that everyone's into filmmaking now.
Right.
So,
well, interestingly enough, it really isn't. And the latest kind of trend in the short film space is people making film literally that's Oscar worthy on iPhones. So it's become ubiquitous in that sense. But to go back to an earlier question that you raised, which is how do filmmakers find their way to our platform? You need to be award-winning or award-nominated. And what that means is that you have submitted your film at some point to any festival in these United States, and there are over 5,000, and you have been accepted into that film festival. And if you've been accepted, that's considered being nominated for an award. So that's what's really important. And once that happens and you've been nominated and or won, which would be even better, you're then eligible to be considered to be on our platform.
Wow. Yeah. Christine, I'm fascinated because I love watching movies.
Oh, cool.
And I like to sit down and kind of pick them apart and see what the director wanted you to see.
Yes.
And just now to hear this other side is fascinating to me. Okay. So now, you said there are approximately 5,000 different types of festivals throughout the Union?
Throughout the United States, that's correct. And then there are even more, obviously, throughout the world. But in the United States, there's just over 5,000 film festivals.
So then that means that there can be submissions from all across the United States that you've received.
Oh, our film, sort of our catalog is global. But interestingly enough, there's a wonderful film festival right here in Inglewood called the Inglewood Film Festival. It's just fantastic.
Right.
So there are literally film festivals everywhere. And here in Chicago, there's something like 25, 30 different festivals.
Okay.
There are women festivals. There's an Irish festival. There's a Latina festival. There's a Latino festival. I mean, there's like a ton of them. So there's several horror festivals here in Chicago. So there's a lot of different ones.
So now, what is the most popular type of film at this particular time? Is there one or a genre that's more popular than another, or people really want to see?
Yeah. So for the last few years, the most popular genre in film, at least from our perspective, and also I think from like Netflix and some of the other platforms, has been horror. But that's now changing, and it's becoming sci-fi. So, and sci-fi in a lot of different ways. Do you know what I mean? It's not just sort of traditional sci-fi, but it's, sci-fi is taking on, a lot of different aspects. There's zombie sci-fi, there's horror sci-fi, there's comedy sci-fi. I mean, sci-fi is, it's sort of an interesting space. Right. And then the thing that I noticed that people really enjoy is there's a lot of documentary work that's going on that's a lot of fun.
Right.
And there's a lot of comedy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to tell their story.
Everybody likes to tell their story.
Right.
That's right.
Now, Christine, riddle me this. What's your background? Give me some information about you.
Well, I'm one of these people who has sort of spent my professional life in one particular area, and I have shifted to film because I, like you, love movies. Like I could spend all day in the movie theaters and not know that 24 hours has passed.
Right.
So I love film, and I went and I have family members who are in film. One of my brothers in film, and he did a feature length film which I absolutely loved, and got invited to Sundance. And he was so excited. So I couldn't go that year, but he went. And he was in the end, he was thrilled that it got accepted to Sundance. That was amazing. But he was concerned because the numbers of people that he had hoped would be able to see his film, that simply wasn't possible. I don't know how many people have been to Sundance, but Sundance is, in a town called Park City. And Park City is smaller than Inglewood as a neighborhood. It's a very small place. And they have movie theaters that seat like 200 people, maybe 250 people. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost impossible for, sort of there's thousands of people that come to Sundance to be able to see these movies. So and we were sort of laughing about it, but I said, well, what if you can't see the movie? What do people do there? And he was like, actually, it's a marketplace. So Paramount is buying movies. You know what I mean? So the industry is buying movies to be seen. So you might remember Good Will Hunting. That was a film, you know what I mean? Ava DuVernay's work premiered at Sundance, right? And people sort of come to the end. Last year or 2 years ago was Birth of a Nation, you know what I mean? And so that film came to Sundance and it was bought, you know what I mean? And then widely distributed. So I said to him, wow, that's amazing that in fact, filmmakers don't really have a way for people to see their film. If you're not at Sundance on January 22nd at 4 o'clock when that film is shown, when are you ever going to see it again? So that was sort of like the genesis and the aha for me to create itsashort.com, because feature lengths, it's hard, but short film has like no options at all. So, we created It's a Short so that people could access the film well past the film festivals, or you could just, if somebody wanted to say, hey, check out my film, they could, you could see it on itsashort.com. And then the second reason is we wanted to really figure out how we could pay the artist, because artists in the short film space have like no options to make money. So we're designed to really financially support artists.
Okay. So it's actually possible for your film to be picked up and go to the next level, and something really incredible can happen. Yes,
but in our case, what we find and sort of is that the studios actually are registered on our website because they are looking for new filmmakers. They have a lot of films that they want made, and they're always looking for new filmmaking talent new perspectives, fresh perspectives, different perspectives. So they go through the shorts on our platform looking for directors that they later hire, and those directors actually end up doing, major feature-length films. There are also a lot of people that started out as, in our films as actors, and now they're in major films, you know what I mean? Because people saw them acting in the short. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So but it's like that was a completely unintended, like who knew that was ever going to happen kind of side, byproduct.
And so now, oftentimes what comes to mind when you think about independent films and you think about someone starting from the very bottom, the whole Robert Townsend thing sticks out in my head.
That's right.
Things have changed incredibly since then because, as you mentioned earlier, that someone can shoot an entire movie on their iPhone 7.
That's right. Or 6.
Oh, yeah. And so now...
For those of us who still have 6s.
Yeah, I do. It works fine. And so with that in mind, it has, or better yet, the question, has it revolutionized the whole movie industry?
Tremendous. And it's so exciting. In fact, we just did a talk on Friday about that very point. And that is, and the sort of theme of our talk was taking control of the narrative in our community. So who better to tell the stories of our community than ourselves? And it now creates the opportunity for people on their iPhone to literally shoot a movie, edit a movie, and publish it. They can do that. Yeah. So it's great because there's so many stories that can be told. We did one of the shorts that we showed on our on Friday that's available, sort of on our, that people can see if they wanted to on our platform, is a short film called Mixed Up. And in Mixed Up is about a story of a guy who has just gotten his DNA results back. And he's a pianist. He's a jazz pianist. He plays in all these clubs in the city of New York. And he's always identified as a black man, sort of a real cool black jazz pianist. So he does his DNA and it comes back that he is absolutely not at all black. He's 87% European and 13% something else. And there's no black DNA in him at all. So the whole thing is about, he's like devastated because this was been his identity for his whole life. And the whole story is about black privilege. You know what I mean? People always talk about white privilege, but this is black privilege, right? And so black privilege is, what it means to self-identify, right? If it's music that you identify with, if it's, whatever sort of people associate, blackness with. And he lost all of that by sort of recognizing that, in fact, at the DNA level, he's nowhere near black. So the first thing people said in the movie was, well, you can't use the N-word anymore. He was like devastated.
Wow, so that's a totally different spin on the whole white privilege thing.
It's black privilege.
And black privilege.
That's right, because people haven't really spent time thinking about black privilege. But if you look at hip hop, if you look at any art form almost, all of that is an expression of black privilege.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's say that the individuals would like to get more information about films or be able to see or participate. What do they do?
You mean in terms of our platform?
Yes.
Oh, well, anybody can go to our, get more information on our platform. It's ashort.com. Yeah, it's very easy to do. Yeah, it's just, it's literally, it's ashort.com. It's like 3 words all together. You know what I mean? .com. So
it's ashort.com.
Right.
That's easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now, do you actually sit down and watch the movies from stem to stern?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Oh, yes. Because we're very conscious of the kind of content that we have. And it's basically curated because it's all sort of award-winning and award-nominated. So we have to watch everything. And secondly, we're very sensitive to things like language, you know what I mean, or other kinds of, areas of inappropriate filmmaking, So we've got to be very careful about what we have on our platform because, you never know who's going to watch, what's there. And we have to sort of adhere to basically broadcast standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christine, has there ever been a production that really stuck out in your mind and that you just could not, because I'm sure you viewed thousands of movies.
Yes.
But has there been one, an independent film, that just stuck out and you never forgot? And you were like, wow.
Just about every film I've ever seen. So I don't know how people feel, sort of when people love movies, like my whole life is like guided by movies. You know what I mean? And so, the first movie I ever saw in my whole life 1,000 years ago, because I don't want anybody to know, was Fiddler on the Roof. Oh. And I know, it's like the first thing that was shown in the movie theater that was near my house, and so we could go to, and actually at that time, it was because of the kind of theater that it was. It was a very sort of important moment. Everybody had to get like dressed up and stuff. It was really crazy. But I was so in the movie, as I was watching it, I had no idea what it was about. But all of a sudden I was crying, you know what I mean? And I'm one of those people who's like in the movie that I'm watching. So I'm always in the movie. So I love Jerry Maguire. I love Birth of a Nation. I have to tell you, I love, there's a wonderful Maya Angelou movie. I don't know if people saw it about, I think it's called The Southern Twist or something like that. That was, filmed here in Chicago, about a woman whose family life really wasn't working here, and she went back south to be with her family in the South and reconnect to her roots. I mean, there's just, there's so many, sort of film. Top Gun was one of my favorites. I mean, there's like a million of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Harlem Nights, one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a classic.
Right. Classic.
Yeah.
Got
three generations of comics.
Generations of comics, the whole Godfather series. So there's like a million, you know what I mean? And I take, I live my life according to film. Okay. It's terrible, but true.
Awesome. Now, what's on the horizon for itsashort.com? What can we expect to hear or see from your company?
Oh, so we are doing a couple of things. First of all, we are partnering with the 5,000 film festivals around the country to do two things. To create, first of all, pages for those festivals, because people don't know that there are that many festivals. I don't know how many people know that there's an Inglewood Film Festival, for instance, and on their page, it's kind of like having a Facebook page, except that it's an itsashort.com page. It announces the festival, the dates, when the next festival is happening, and the previous year winners. So that's our way of partnering with festivals and helping festivals basically extend themselves, so that, if you weren't in Park City in January, you can still see which short film won, sort of at the Sundance Film Festival on our platform. And then the second thing we're doing is we're taking the shorts and we're turning them into a half-hour show, so that we can, and then syndicating the show. So we're syndicating it on the PBS network. We're doing some OTT stuff with the half-hour show, so that we
OTT,
can.
What does that mean?
That means over the top. It's like Roku, Apple TV. You know what I mean? Okay. Those kinds of platforms, so that we can, for the artists, they really want people to watch their movies. You know what I mean? And that's been the challenge. So we're opening up all those avenues so that people can access the work of these artists. And in accessing them, like if you sort of watch it on Roku or whatever, you generate automatically some advertising dollars that will go directly to the filmmaker. So that's the way that the filmmakers are beginning to make money, and they had zero expectation to make money from their short film.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I am incredibly fascinated.
Oh, great.
Thank you so very much for coming and sharing some information with us today. And please know that if you ever need some assistance in watching the movies, I'm your man.
Oh, that would be terrific. We would love to have you. Thank you so much.
Christine, give us some closing words.
I would just like to say this has been a great and wonderful opportunity. Thank you so much for having me in and allowing me to share with people, what itsashort.com is all about. That is like the best ever. And I would say to all of the listeners, if anybody is interested in filmmaking, there's a lot of information on the website that could be helpful. It's itsashort.com. I hope that, people get a chance to really explore their interest.
Okay. All right. We have been talking with Ms. Christine Boulware, who is the founder and CEO of itsashort.com. Thank you so very much for your time, for your attention, and for your dedication to this particular cause. We wish you the best in your endeavors, and please know that the door here at Focus Talk is always open. You don't have to knock, just come on through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine. Keep this in mind. If you can't be the highway, just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. Because it isn't by size that you win or that you fail. Be the best at whatever you are. Stay focused. This is Dennis Snipe. We'll talk again real soon.
This is Focus Talk with Dennis Snipe on 89.3 WKKC.
19.3.
Yes, sir.
Did I talk too much?
That's what it's all about.
Too many words.
No.
Here,